All right, this last example is actually very similar to the previous example. We're given, a function that happens to be a product of two other functions and a function that happens to be the quotient of two functions. The only thing that's really different is now instead of being given the values um, of of the function and the derivative of the function at a given point, we're going to use this graph instead to find the values. So let's do that. The first one is asking us to find h prime of 2, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is find h prime of x using the product rule, because h of x is the product of f of x times g of x. So I'm going to take the derivative of the first times the second plus the first times the derivative of the second, right? And that's it. That's it. And then all I need to do is put in 2. So I'll write it down here. H prime at 2 is just going to be f prime at 2, g of 2 plus f at 2 times g prime at 2. All right. Now we have to use the graph to find these values. Just remember that the derivative is the slope. The derivative is slope, and when you have a straight line, and that's easy enough. So let's first of all find f prime of 2. F prime of 2. So f is this red function, and at 2 we're right here, right? But I need the slope. So what I need to do, since it's just a straight line, I'm just going to take any 2 points, probably maybe take this one and this one, and look at the rise over run, right? So it looks like I'm going up 2 units and over 1. So it appears that f prime of 2, so I'll write that here, m equals 2. That's the slope, which is f prime. So that's just going to be 2. And then I'm going to multiply that times g of 2. So I'm going to come up here to the g function, and g of 2, that's just the value, the y value of the function. So I'm going to multiply that times 6. So I have 2 times 6. That should be a times. Hopefully that looks clearly like a times. So I could use parentheses, I suppose would be better. But let's do that. 2 times 6. And then f of 2, all right, so now it's just the value of the function at 2. And if I come over here to the function and look at x equals 2, it looks like y is 4. So f of 2 is 4, and then I'm going to multiply that, or we'll use parentheses. I'm going to multiply that times g prime at 2. Okay, so now we're looking for slope. And again, I can just do like rise over run. So in this case, the rise is negative, right? It's not a rise, it's going down. So I'm going to have a negative 1. So the slope here is m equals negative 1. All right. So, all right, now we just have to take, we have 12 minus 4. 12 minus 4 is 8. So my answer is 8. All right. Now the next one, k is defined to be the quotient of f of x divided by g of x. So I need to use the quotient rule. So I'm going to say k prime at x of x is equal to, now I'm just going to use the quotient rule. So low, that's the denominator, d high minus high, d low, g prime of x, all over low squared. So g of x, g of x, the whole thing squared. And then we need to just say, okay, k prime of 2, and then we're just going to find, I'll just write it out, g of 2 times f prime at 2 minus f at 2 times g prime at 2 all over g of 2 squared. Okay, I'm just substituting 2 in place of x. All right, so now we're just going to find the values. Oops, wait, hang on. You probably already caught this. 6. We're trying to find 6. So I was supposed to put in 6, wasn't I? Not 2 this time. We're putting in 6. So let's fix that. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Just replace all these 6s. Oh, these 2s with 6s, right? We want it to be k prime of 6. All right. Well, let's now look at our graph and find those values. So 6 is here. So it looks like G is the blue function. So G of 6 is 2. Oops. What's happening here? What's happening here? What's going on here? All right, I got something that turned on that wasn't supposed to be turned on. Okay, let's try this again. And see, what was it? We're doing G of 6. G of 6 is 2. All right, and then f prime of 6. Now, if you come up here to f, right, when x is equal to 6, we're looking at slope, right? F prime is slope, and this is a horizontal line, so this is just going to be times 0. And then minus f of 6. F of 6 is 8, right? Because that's the value of y when x is 6 for that function f. And g prime at 6 is the slope of this function, which we already said was a -1. And then we're going to divide all of that by g of 6. G of 6 is 2, but we got to square it, so it's 2 squared. All right, so what do we have? We have a minus 8 times a -1, so that's 8 over 4, which is 2. So my final answer is 2. All right, that's all we got in this section, and I'll see you in class.